Welcome to UNAM Chicago's CAFÉ EXPRESSO, a space for bilateral conversations with people from all walks of life. Tune in to Spanish Public Radio and follow us on social media. And now your host, Alberto Foncerrada.
Nosotros somos el Chicago Mariachi Project y esta canción la dedicamos a las mujeres lindas, a las muchachas bonitas. Reboso de Santa María, mestizas que bailan llenas de alborozo, entre los encantos mil de mi vaquería. Albarrada blanca, bruja de los pozos, casitas de paja de la sierra mía. Albarrada blanca, bruja de los...
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second part of this special edition of Café Expresso. My name is Alberto Foncerrada, and I am your host. Café Expresso is a program of UNAM Chicago, in alliance with Spanish Public Radio. And I'm having a fascinating conversation with Alvaro Obregón. He's the president and founder of the Chicago Mariachi Project. And Alvaro, we went on the first part of this program, we covered a lot. Now, why don't you tell us a little bit more and walk us through your journey on how did the Chicago Mariachi Project come about? You have done outstanding work there. And why don't you share with our audience a little bit?
So as back in the, I would say it was probably maybe the 60s or so when mariachi music education started taking off in the United States. Little seeds of it, right? So you had Nati Cano, the very famous Nati Cano in Los Angeles, who moved from Jalisco to Los Angeles. He formed Mariachi Los Camperos de Nati Cano, and he was very, very instrumental in wanting to teach this art form. And I bring him up. There are many, many, many others, but I bring him up because he was very pivotal in this. And so mariachi music began to sprout up in different places. So without getting into too much detail, but you now have a whole student movement of mariachi music. So especially in the Southwest. So in the Southwest, you have, I would say, the epicenter of mariachi student movement is in Texas. You have student ensembles that can outplay many adult mariachis. And so you have that there, and that's taken off. And so you started having conferences, et cetera, both in Texas and Arizona, Nuevo Mexico, New Mexico, and California, right? But one of the places where it wasn't necessarily as big was here in Chicago and maybe other parts of the United States. Through time, it began to develop. So back in 1994, a very good friend of mine, Victor Pichardo, who is with Sones de Mexico, he started the very first mariachi program, that formal mariachi program here at Benito Juarez High School. It's now known as Community Academy, but Benito Juarez High School at the time. And he started a program there that has been the longest running program. In the fast forwarding to the, I would say about 2007, when I was at the Resurrection Project, I helped fund and start a program at Orozco Academy, and then Cooper Academy. And so this is how things started evolving. We found ourselves with, and I work with Victor very closely, but we found ourselves suddenly with a mariachi program at the elementary level, at the middle school level, and at the high school level. And that's really what sparked the idea of starting Chicago Mariachi Project. So formally, we became a nonprofit. We filed our papers in 2013. I brought Victor on as one of my founding board members, that first board, as well as Marta Alba, who is the principal at Cooper Dual Language Academy, and she has a program to really start this. And now you see, we were the first, but now you see other mariachi organizations in the Chicago area. And we've done so much. I was just talking to some of our former students just a few days ago. On Monday, one of them was going to University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, very proud of her. And the other one is going back to Cornell University. And I was telling them, you should be proud of that. These are students that were with us. I said, Chicago and Chicago Mariachi Project, we opened the doors for so many others. There will be others that will come through. And that's okay. There will be some that will do some of the things that we do better, and that's okay. Because we have so many communities that is so big that we should have many organizations doing many things culturally across, and not just mariachi music, but just culturally. And so, but I'm very proud that we've opened the door for mariachi education and for a lot of other mariachi groups and organizations.
That is fascinating, and I commend you for your work. And we have to have more events. Well, I'm sure we're going to be working with UNAM. You're going to be working with UNAM, and I'd love to have Victor too. And yes, is there anything you want to add, Alvaro, with these celebrations that we're missing or anything?
Well, I think that in terms of just want to go back a little bit, if I can brag just a little bit again.
Absolutely, it's your program.
On Chicago Mariachi Project, because I'm bragging about our students and our instructors, right? We've done so much. We've opened up for many the top groups. We've consistently opened up for Mariachi Vargas de Tecalitlan, who many consider as the world's greatest mariachi. They've traveled the world. Mariachi Nuevo Tecalitlan, Mariachi Los Camperos. We were the first organization, student group and organization that started touring. So we've done that. And one of the big things that I think is very a moment of pride, and I don't feel bad about saying this or shy about saying this rather, but in 2017, we took a big step. We took a bold step, and we said we're going to compete. Now, remember, Chicago is so far away from the epicenter and of mariachi education, and we competed at one of the most prestigious festivals and conferences, which is Mariachi Spectacular de Albuquerque. And Texas always wins. Nothing bad about, this is not a shot at Texas. They always win. So when they announced, they said, and they were going through the list, and second place, the group from Texas. And I just had this moment where I thought to myself, wait, what's happening? And then they said, and in first place, all the way from, as soon as they said that, I knew hasta se me enchina la piel.
Wow! Cheers for that. Well, this is not tequila. This is my early morning espresso. But cheers for that.
Thank you. And so yes, I challenged our students. I told them, as they went up on stage, I remember we worked really hard, and I said to them, I'm very proud of you already. Just to me, you've already, you're, whether we get, the trophy or not. And they did it. They put it all on the line. And it was the first time that a group from Chicago had competed at a national level, and we won. So I'm very proud of them, very proud of the team, the instructors, the students for that. And it's something that winning trophies, winning prizes is not our goal. Our goal is to elevate the art of mariachi. That is our mission. We have always stayed on mission. We have never moved You know, we don't try to really brand ourselves because there's something new. You know, nobody, I say this all the time, and I say this especially to my colleagues that are in the classical music field, and I always get that's a good point. And that is that mariachi music is an art form. It has evolved. And nobody today would listen to Bartók, Kodály, Dvorak, and say that's just folk music. When in fact, the greatest orchestras around the world play these great composers, but their music is coming from folk music. And so we teach our students that your music, mariachi music, Mexican folk music, is of equal value as any other music out there. And this is an important point, because I think in the world that we live in, it's important for students to feel a sense of pride of who they are. And it goes hand in hand with the pride of that traje, right? That your culture has value, and it is second to no one. It is up on that level. And so that's something that we're proud of. And that is really what I think UNESCO has recognized, right? Because if you do your research, there were mariachis in Yugoslavia. There are mariachis in a couple of weeks. They're kicking off the Encuentro del Mariachi y la Charrería in Guadalajara and Jalisco, which I will say is the current capital of mariachi music. You know, so give them the credit. And there they have every year mariachis from Cuba, mariachis from Colombia. In Colombia, mariachi music is huge. From Japan. And so when people, I hope that your listeners understand this, that this really is an art form that has transcended the boundaries of Mexico and gone across the world. Because quite honestly, and you know this, Alberto, that I am a big fan of classical music, and I'm very involved. I've been very involved with one of the world's greatest orchestras, in my view, the greatest, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, for many years.
Absolutely.
But this is something that has traveled the world, and I think that that it's very important that people know this, what mariachi music is, and that it is an art form, and I hope that people will listen a little bit more and listen differently, perhaps, because that mariachi ensemble is unlike any other ensemble. It can play waltzes, it can play polkas, it can play sones, it can play a wide variety of music. And so you'll hear all of that in a really good mariachi.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you have done a phenomenal work of putting not just the name of Mexico pretty high in this country, but mariachi music, all its cultural manifestations. And you're right, it is a treasure, and I commend you for that. And I remember going to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra for an event that you hosted there, and people were just at awe. Like, and I'm hopeful that people get more into our music, because it's not, like you said, it's not just Mexico. It's a universal expression now, and I love it. Alvaro Obregón, I really thank you, my friend, for accepting my invitation to be in this program. We'll be talking again soon. And for everybody who logged into my program, my name is Alberto Foncerrada. I am your host at CAFÉ EXPRESSO. This is a program of UNAM Chicago in alliance with Spanish Public Radio. Until next time.
¡Échala bien, bonito! Vámonos a la jarana, vamos a ganar lugar.